It's that time of the offseason where we're looking at rookie camps, mini camps, OTA clips of these players. And today we're looking at the Carolina Panthers and looking at Jimmy Horn Jr., twitched up wide receiver. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at these players every day, what they're doing at practice behind the scenes. Soon it'll be training camp. You want to know who's winning those camp battles. You want to know what your favorite rookies are doing. It's going to be right here. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Jimmy Horn Jr. today. Where's my Colorado fans at? Because I cover your guys' high school recruiting a lot in the offseason. And I want to know your take on this too. Panthers fans, I want to know how you feel. You got him cheap in the draft. But there he is. Jimmy Horn Jr. The Colorado wide receivers not named Travis Hunter kind of got slept on when it came to draft analysis by everybody, but really me. He killed it in the Shrine Game practices. Him and LeJohntay Wester, the Colorado Bash Bros. The Colorado Bash Bros is what I'm going to call them. If you're a Buffalo fan, you're getting jazzed up. A lot of Buffalo fans like my channel in the offseason when I talk about their recruiting and their team, because I won't go heavy into Dion and company. There he is right there. I tricked you with T-Mac. I don't go heavy in that. I just go heavy on the players. I'm a player-first guy. Player first. And I root for either the UDFAs. I root for the late-round picks. I root for the guys who have to climb a depth chart. So a guy like Jimmy Horn, LeJohntay Wester, Shiloh Sanders, those are the guys from the Colorado team that I'll be really rooting for, because that's what I'm into. That's who's going to collect all these clips and talk ball if they're not into that. Think about it that way. But he's twitched up. He's got speed. He's a good route runner. He can create separation. What we saw at the Shrine Game practices is kind of what you're seeing now. But at 7-on-7s, 1v1s, and just cooking. Cooking guys that was in this draft class. Just cooking it. And size might have been one of the reasons why he dropped in the draft. Technical nuance is there. It is there. Just the ability to get in and out of breaks. And the depth chart is very promising for a wide receiver like this. Like, there's some ambiguity here. Adam Thielen's not going to be here forever. He's giving you something that some of the other wide receivers don't have, and that's his build with the twitchiness. Technical wide receiver who's going to get more technical. He's got production to his name. He's had big moments at the college level. Not the most productive wide receiver, but still, we got T-Mac there. You all know I think he's a stud. You all know that I think Xavier Legette's in position to be a good role wide receiver that give you guys some upside. Adam Thielen, crafty vet. Coker climbed the depth chart, so we know they'll allow the UDFAs and late rounders to rise in camp and get opportunity, especially when injuries happen. So that's another good sign for Colorado fans and guys who are interested in Jimmy Horn. Another thing to look at here is Adam Thielen's going to be retired soon. You guys are going to have to move around some players. And if he's starting to look good, minicamp OTAs, and then into training camp, he might have a role. Maybe next year, if we can stick to this roster. I think odds are pretty good considering the back end of this roster and depth chart at the wide receiver spot. I think the speed could give you a good role player. If you're here for fantasy football, you can really only look at Dynasty, and it's really how deep you want to go, because this is a very stout running back class. If the running back class wasn't as deep as what it was or is, then you might be looking at him more in your last pick, but there's so many running backs to look at. That is the thing. However, if you're looking at UDFAs to pick up after your draft, most of my leagues, that's where you're looking at. It really depends on how deep your rosters are. I think T-Mac's going to own a 20+% target share. I think he's going to get well over 30% of the air yards once he's established. Pretty much year 2, if you're looking for the whole season, I think there's going to be a pocket of games where he's going to have it this year. I think Xavier Legette's going to get a lot short to intermediate, goal line looks. He's going to get some work. I think Coker's not going to die. I like Coker. I like Adam Thielen for this year. I think it's going to be a long play if that's something you're looking at. However, it really depends on how deep your rosters are. Your basic format, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to hold on to him for a full year. Maybe you can. And on top of that, I look to have my dart throws at running back Because running back, you could be a bad player and walk in 2 touches due to attrition and become a fantasy asset. Like Trey Sermon last year hit on once every 3 games. Those running backs that are like so-so, they hit about once every 3 to 4 games for fantasy just due to the touches, and that's just a gamble. Where wide receiver, there's targets, they change the game plan, they may slow it up, like say T-Mac, Xavier Legette goes down, they may change it, more run-heavy approach, they may spread the ball around a little bit differently, like you can't really peg the opportunity share. How could he go off, though, and become a mainstay wide receiver to beat out Xavier Legette? We're technical. We can get downfield. We're twitchy. We have a long road to hoe climbing the depth chart, but we're going to have to show that really quick in training camp. Once we get next to those vets, we need some injuries to come our way. We need to beat out Jalen Coker. We need to do that. Do we have potential for that? Yeah, with the twitchiness. Yeah, we definitely do. But we have to really kill it every practice, not have any bad practices. Look at the hands right down here. Right down here. Again, if you're excited about Jimmy Horn, I'm with you. I'm excited for these late round picks and UDFAs. I like to watch them and see what they're doing. Those are good storylines going into the season. A lot of upside here. And then looking at him for a late round pick, honestly, at wide receiver, I think that's a great get. Great get for a late round guy. See what you can get out of him next year, year after. I think he's going to stick around, though. I think we got the talent for that. I think he got potential for more. Still potential, but still, that's a good thing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.